Hello, welcome to Đồng Nai Radio and Television Station. Here comes the news today. A national forum on professional skills, the first of its kind in Vietnam, will be officially launched on Saturday. The theme of the National Forum on Vietnamese Labor Skills Promotion will be Enterprises Go Together with Renewal and Vocational Training Quality Promotion. The official session of the forum will attract the participation of leaders of the government, ministries and sectors, international organizations in Vietnam, and more than 300 big domestic enterprises. The purpose of the forum is to affirm the vision and aspirations in preparing knowledge, resources, and skills to improve labor productivity, enhance competitiveness, and meet the requirements of the Industrial Revolution 4.0, bringing Vietnam out of the middle-income trap, becoming a developed country by 2045. The forum is also an opportunity to evaluate the results of the implementation of the vocational education law after 3 years of implementation, giving the message of the role of enterprises in vocational education activities, shifting towards vocational training. The situation of tax debts in some localities over the past 10 months tend to increase gradually, the General Department of Taxation reported. In particular, the receivable debt increased in the amount of environmental protection tax, value-added tax, special consumption tax, and land-related amounts. The situation of enterprises in financial difficulties, insolvency, shutdowns, abandonment of business addresses, self-dissolution, and bankruptcy are the reasons for the increase in tax debts. According to a report by the General Department of Taxation, the total tax debt to the end of October 2019 was over 83,000 billion VND. In particular, the amount of taxable debt is more than 43,500 billion. Tax debt is no longer able to collect nearly 40,000 billion VND. By the end of October, the amount of tax debt collected was nearly 28,000 billion VND, up 0.4% compared to the same period last year. The ratio of total debt to gross domestic revenue in 2019 is 7%, 2% higher than the government's requirements. On November 12, Bolivian opposition Senator Jeannie Annex has declared herself in the country's interim president after the former president Evo Morales and his vice president went into exile in Mexico. Speaking to the media, Annex said she would only assume the role of president in the transition period until a new election is held. Earlier, the extraordinary session of Bolivian House of Representatives was scheduled to take place on November 12 to examine President Evo Morales' resignation as well as to plan for the next steps under the government led by Ms. Annex, forced to postpone due to the lack of statutory number and the absence of most members of parliament in the governing coalition Movement for Socialism, MAS. MAS group of members of parliament said they could not go to the parliament because of security problems. The second annual Paris Peace Forum takes place on November 12 and 13 in Paris, France. This year's forum focuses on reaffirming the importance of multilateralism and collective action in the face of emerging nationalism around the world. French President Emmanuel Macron on Tuesday welcomed more than 30 heads of state and government at the second annual Paris Peace Forum aimed at finding solutions to global challenges ranging from climate change and terrorism to migration and cybersecurity. He emphasized the world political and economic system is built on the basis of market economy and free trade. However, in recent years, new inequalities and social divisions have created a crisis in our democracy, reviving unilateralism. During the discussions, participants will focus on assessing the preparation process and the implementation results of projects approved in the first forum. Closing in the afternoon of November 13, the forum will announce 10 selected projects out of a total of 120 projects introduced in this second year. That's all for the news today. Thank you for joining us and goodbye.